In 11D, we're going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions that have unlike denominators. So with unlike denominators, we had to first find a common denominator for the rational expressions. Then we're going to rewrite each of our fractions with a new denominator, and then we will do the addition and subtraction just like normal once we have the same denominator. So 6 and 5, you've worked with 6 and 5 before, so we're looking for a number that they both will go into evenly, and that would be 30. So I want to have a new denominator of 30. So for my 6, I need to multiply by the clever 1, so I want to multiply by the same thing on top and bottom, so I'm going to do 5 over 5 so that I get 30 here. And now I'm going to distribute through the numerator and get 5a plus 10. Then for my second fraction, to change to 30, I'm going to be multiplying by 6. So clever 1, 6 over 6. So it's going to change the looks but not the value. So distribute through the numerator and get 6a minus 6. Now I have the same denominator, so I can add. So I'm going to keep the denominator the same, and then I'm going to add like terms in my numerators. So it's going to be 5a plus 6a is 11a, and 10 and a negative 6 is a plus 4. Double check it. All right, and you can see this doesn't factor, so I can't do any reducing on this. So remember that in order to reduce, you have to have factors. So answer. All right, so how about B? So B has got a couple of whole numbers, and we want to have a denominator of 4. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give everything that denominator of 5. So for P, I had to multiply it by 5 over 5, so it's going to be 5P. And 4, again, I'm going to multiply it by 5 over 5, and that's going to give me 20 over 5, so 20 over 5 is 4. And then, of course, this is not going to change, so P plus 2. But I do observe that I've got a subtraction, and when I have subtraction, I remember I want to put the parentheses around my numerator so that I can distribute. So when I put it all together, I have 5. Then I'm going to have 5P plus 20. I have a minus P and a minus 2. And combining like terms, I have 5P minus P, that's 4P. And then 20 minus 2, that's going to be plus 18 over 5. I could factor out a 2, but it's not going to cancel, and I know that whatever's left over is not going to cancel, so I'm just going to circle that and leave it that way. If you were to happen to do this, this also would be an acceptable answer as well. For C, I have 4 and 12, so my common denominator, the number they both will go into evenly, the smallest one would be 12. So I'm going to have a common denominator of 12. So for my first fraction, I'm going to multiply by 3 over 3, and I'm going to distribute through my numerator, and that's going to give me 3x minus 3, and then of course 3 times 4 is 12. This is a plus, and 12 doesn't change, so I just keep my x plus 5. All right, I have the common denominator of 12, so I'm going to combine like terms up here and get 4x. And a negative 3 and a plus 5 would be plus 2. Okay, I see a bunch of even numbers here. I'm going to factor out a 2. That leaves me with 2x plus 1 over 12. And here I can divide both of these, and I end up with 2x plus 1 over 6 when I reduce it. The last example for 6 and 8, let's talk about this a minute. When I do 6, that is actually 2 times 3. Those are my factors, and 8 is going to be 2 and then I'm going to put my 2 times 2 here. When I look for my common factor, I need a 2, I need a 3, I need a 2, and a 2. So that's going to be 6 times 4 is 24. Now you should be able to look at this and see the smallest number that I could divide both of them into is 24. But what I want to do as I work into the algebraic expressions, I want to think in terms of factors. So 6 in simplest form is 2 times 3. And 8 is 2, which I'm going to match with this, a 2 and a 2. And I want one of each kind of factor. So 24, common denominator. So my first one I'm going to multiply by to get a 24 is going to be 4 over 4. So parentheses, that's going to be 4u plus 20. This time it's a minus. And then for 8, I'm going to do 3 and 3. So that's going to be 3u plus 3. Now because I do have a subtraction, I'm going to need to distribute through there. And I'm going to have 24. Then I have 4u plus 20 minus 3u minus 3. So that's going to be u plus 17 over 24 for my answer. And it won't reduce.